right, we are in the Forbidden Door season and it feels good. This is one of AEW's key events, and today we are going to preview, take a look at the show, make our predictions. But first things first, we got to ask ourselves, what is the Forbidden Door? Essentially, the Forbidden Door is when one person or a group or whoever goes from one company and crosses the line, no TNA, actually, yeah, TNA, to another company. So what's going on between WWE and NXT right now, and obviously AEW and New Japan and the Forbidden Door and Stardom. And it feels good to have Stardom involved here, but that's essentially what the Forbidden Door is. This is just a little bit of cross promotion, but let's take a look at last year's card. We had 14 matches on the show last year, with 5 on the pre-show. So first we had Tom Lawler defeated Serpentico on the pre-show. We had the Mogul Embassy defeat Chaos. Swerve Strickland was on the pre-show, y'all. Last year, Swerve Strickland was on the pre-show, and now he is main eventing this year's show. Let that sink in. Athena defeated Billy Starks in a women's Owen Hart Cup first round match, and El Phantasmo defeated Stu Grayson. El Phantasmo's on this year's main card, and Los Ignobles de Japón defeated United Empire. I believe Shingo Takagi's on the main card this year, and so is Jeff Cobb. So that's just good stuff right there. Then we get to the main card of 2023. MJF defeated Tanahashi, retaining the AEW World Championship. CM Punk defeated Satoshi Kojima. Orange Cassidy defeated Zack Sabre Jr., Kazuchika Shibata, and Dan Garcia, retaining the International Championship. Sonata defeated Jack Perry, retaining the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. The Elite, Eddie Kingston and Ishii, defeated the Blackpool Combat Club, Takeshita and Shota Umino. Tony Storm defeated Willow Nightingale, retaining the Women's World Championship. Will Ospreay defeated Kenny Omega to win the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. Sting, Darby Allin, and Tetsuya United defeated Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki in the main event. Bryan Danielson defeated Kazuchika Okada in our dream match. But that was a good show as usual. I just feel like this year's show might be better, but let's take a look at this card. So we have currently 3 on the pre-show, but I expect Tony Khan to do what Tony Khan does and adds another match to the pre-show. So we have 0 Hour. We have Los Ignobles de Japón versus the Lucha Brothers and Místico. This is going to be a fun match, but the winner is very, very obvious here. It's going to go to the Lucha Brothers and Místico. It's just a way to get the crowd going. Then we have Kris Statlander and Momo Watanabe versus Willow Nightingale and Tam Nakano. Now Willow's teaming up with a woman with whom she defended the TBS Championship against at some point this year, and now we are seeing them teaming up together, and Kris is teaming with the superstar that is Momo Watanabe. But what we have here, what I really think is going to happen, is whoever wins this match will win. Whoever wins this match will lose on Beach Break. So if Willow wins, then she's losing to Kris, because Willow and Kris are facing each other in the second round of the Owen Cup. This is going to be a really good match, but it all is going, again, like I said, dictate the match, on Dynamite. And if we look at the tournament, the winner of Willow Kris will face the winner of Shida versus whoever wins between Mariah May and Saraya. So we actually have to wait for the Mariah May Saraya match to go down. So it's a toss-up. But as for the tag match, because I think a certain someone is going to win the tournament, I'm actually going to say Kris and Momo win the match here, with Willow winning on Dynamite. That won't end their feud, but take Kris and Momo to win that match. And then the other match on 0 Hour is a Owen Hart first round matchup between Mariah May and Saraya, and this is has a lot of moving parts to it. So Saraya and the Outcasts have inserted themselves in the story with Mina, Mariah, and Tony, and they lost the Outcasts. They lost the 6-woman tag match on Dynamite, which is tough because I'm like, well, opposite momentum. If they lose on the TV show, they should win at the pay-per-view. But I don't think Saraya's winning here. I think Saraya's going to get a match at All In, but I just see Mariah May winning here and defeating Saraya to go on to face Hikaru Shida in the second round. But let's get into the main card. We've got the ladder match for the TNT Championship, and our combatants are Jack Perry, Konosuke Takeshita, Mark Briscoe, Dante Martin, Leo Rush, and El Phantasmo. Now I'm going to call it like I see it. El Phantasmo, Leo Rush, Dante Martin have no shot at winning this. Just none. They're here for the spots. It's going to come down to Jack Perry, Takeshita, and Mark Briscoe, right? And I don't think Mark's winning because he's the current Ring of Honor World Championship champion. So it's going to come down to Jack Perry and Takeshita, right? And we get to this match because Adam Copeland got hurt and he had to relinquish the championship. It's okay, it happens. So Jack Perry and Konosuke Takeshita, either men would benefit greatly from having this championship. Jack Perry because he would be another member of the Elite with gold, and Takeshita will bring some more gold to the Don Callis family. Even though you still have Ospreay, you have Kyle Fletcher, who all have gold, Takeshita will win the big one, then he'll lose the big one. And this one is very much a toss-up here. This will ultimately come down to what happens with the Elite later on in the evening. And we'll get to that match. But this is tough. My head says Jack Perry should walk away with the championship. My heart says Takeshita because he needs that gold. So after a nice lengthy battle, I am going to go with Takeshita to win the match. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Takeshita to win here and become the new TNT champion. But do not be shocked if Jack Perry wins as well. Next up, we have a trios match between the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, Big Bill, Brian Keith is injured, teaming up with Jeff Cobb to take on Samoa Joe, Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata. And this is another match that's a toss-up. This is the first really big match for the Learning Tree, and it sucks that Keith's not there because I would love to see Keith versus the opposite guys, the opposing team. But they're the Learning Tree for a reason, and I think they can learn from a loss here. Joe, Hook, and Shibata just seem like complete badasses, and I know they're going to be coming for the Trios Championships. So, take Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata to win here. Next up, we have MJF versus Hachisato, and this is probably the most out of left field match. So MJF returned, and he's got to get a match on Forbidden Door, right? Why is it Hachisato? Well, the Elite, either the Elite or I want to say it was the Gates of Agony called out MJF. So after MJF makes his return, right, he badmouthed the Elite. So following his match against the Cage of Agony, right? No, following his match on Dynamite, not against Cage of Agony, appeared on screen and Brian Cage announced that the Elite had a gift for MJF, and it would be that he was facing Hachicero at Forbidden Door. So the Elite has their fingers in all of these pies, and now they've got beef with MJF, and they chose a great person in Hachicero, who is just a fantastic wrestler. A lot of people think that MJF doesn't really have like top skill. Go and watch his matches. Yes, he absolutely does. He is fantastic in the ring. And him and Hachicero might have the sleeper match of the evening. But take MJF to win here. He's going to be fighting from behind a lot, but that's okay. He'll figure out how to win. But take MJF to defeat Hachicero. Next up, we have a trios match with the Elite. This is our third trios match on the show. Jeez. The Elite, Young Bucks, and Kazuchika Okada will be taking on the Acclaimed and someone that Okada knows very, very well, and that would be Hiroshi Tanahashi. How did this match come about? Well, the Acclaimed were rapping and they badmouth the Elite. You see how this happens? You say something bad about the Elite, and next thing you know, you got some beef with them. But the Elite have been pretty much poking and prodding at the Acclaimed, right? Cutting off their mic when Max Caster is supposed to be rapping and just being a nuisance to them. And Okada's just annoyed. So recently on Dynamite, the Acclaimed defeated the Young Bucks in an Eliminator tag team match to earn a shot at the World Tag Team titles. And I thought this would go down at the pay-per-view, but no. It makes a lot of sense to have Okada on this card, and who can you get to oppose Okada? Like, I would have loved to see Billy Gunn in this match, but Billy Gunn's like, yeah. I know some presidents, and he got Tanahashi, who is the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling. This is going to be fun. This is going to be so much fun. I don't think it should run long, and it shouldn't run long. With the Acclaimed getting the win on Dynamite, I'll actually take the Acclaimed and Tanahashi to win here. I just think the Elite can suffer a loss, and they'll be able to recover and abuse their powers just a little bit more. So take the Acclaimed to Tanahashi to win here. And then we have a first round Owen Hart Cup match with Bryan Danielson taking on Shingo Takagi. Remember, Shingo Takagi was on the pre-show last year, and I like that we get the Owen Hart matches on the pay-per-view. So the winner, like I did say this before, but the winner of the Owen Hart matches, of the Owen Hart Cup, respective winners, men and women, both get world title shots at All In. So that's why I think specifically Mariah May is probably going to win her match, and I just think Bryan Danielson's winning here. This was supposed to be a match between the two dragons, the dragon of New Japan and Shingo Takagi, and the dragon of America, Bryan Danielson. This is going to be so good. These two are going to give you a match of the year candidate. They are, because they're just really good at what they do. And I like that we now have other people from outside companies in the Owen. And Bryan Danielson ain't got no beef with the Elite yet, but I just think he's probably winning the Owen Hart Cup. That's just me personally. But him and Takagi now have a little bit of beef, seeing as Takagi didn't want to show Danielson any respect, but take Bryan Danielson to win here. Next up, we have Zack Sabre Jr. versus Orange Cassidy, and this is just a match made out of animosity. Zack Sabre Jr. cannot stand Orange Cassidy, and they have been knuckling at each other for better part of a year, 2 years. Zack Sabre Jr. is upset about 2023's match where Orange Cassidy won, retaining the International Championship, and he wants to prove that he's just a better wrestler than Orange Cassidy, that they had unfinished business. And Orange Cassidy's like, all right, whatever. And it's great that he can be on the card. I gotta see Zack Sabre Jr. get a W here. I like him to win this match. Orange Cassidy's another person. He's Teflon. He's like Mox. He's like Eddie Kingston. He's like Jericho. He's like The Miz. These are guys that can suffer losses and not be hurt by them. This is another low-key sleeper match on the card. So I'm going with Zack Sabre Jr. to win this match here, maybe by submission. I don't think Orange Cassidy's going to tap, but maybe like TKO. This is going to be a really, really good match because Orange Cassidy's just a really good wrestler, and Zack Sabre Jr. is one of the best in the world. I don't know what to tell you. Next up, we have the AEW Women's World Championship and one of the most anticipated matches of the entire show, as Toni Storm will be defending against Mina Shirakawa, and Mariah May is stuck in the middle. So how does this start? Essentially, for those of you that don't know, Mariah May used to perform in Stardom. She was a part of Club Venus, the Club Venus faction that consisted of Mina Shirakawa, and a few others over the years. But her and Mina became really good friends and became a great tag team. So Mariah leaves Stardom and goes over to AEW. Mina stays in Stardom. Mariah ends up becoming the corner person, the partner, the understudy, the protege of timeless Toni Storm, and they have been great. Now, mind you, Toni Storm used to perform in Stardom as well, and Toni showed up at the Stardom American Dream event early this year in Philly during WrestleMania weekend and teased the match versus Mina Shirakawa, right? He showed up and said, yo, the forbidden door is always open. And over the next 2 months, Mina Shirakawa would periodically show up on AEW shows, comforting and being with her friend Mariah May, showing her affection, but really being annoyed with Toni Storm. And Storm had really been noticing this and noticing that her friendship with Mina's friendship with May might be a problem. So she put the title on and said, what's up? And Mina's like, all right. So we have the contract signing, and Mina told Toni, you're soft now, and she told Mariah, you have to choose. Now at this point in the story of Mariah and Toni, Mariah is now dressed up as the Outcast version of Toni Storm. She already did the Rock version. Now she's the Outcast version. I'm just saying. So this is going to be a really good match. I'm so happy people get to see more of Mina Shirakawa and how good she is. She is absolutely fantastic in the ring. And her and Toni will put on a good match. But Toni's walking away as champion here, retaining that championship. Because here's another thing. This past week on Dynamite, Mina accidentally hit Mariah May with the champagne bottle, smashing that joint on her head. But what will Mariah do? She has her match earlier on the show against Saraya and the Owen. Will Mina be there with her? Will Toni be there with her? Because Saraya won't be by herself. This is going to be good, and I'm very much enjoying the story. Here next up, we have Jon Moxley defending the IWGP Heavyweight Championship against Tetsuya Naito, the man he defeated for the championship. He won the title back in April at the Windy City Riot event, and Naito wants back in. He wants the championship back. So Mox retained the title at Dominion, and then Mox got a promo challenging anyone to come out. Yo, like, what's up? I put the belt on the line. Naito came out, confronted him, said, yo, forbidden door. And it's great that we have Mox holding this championship just to bring just a little bit more prestige to the championship. I mean, it is a very prestigious belt, but I'm curious to see how this one can go, because I can see both Mox retaining and I can see Naito winning. But how long does New Japan go without having their championship and their promotion in their country? That's the really, really serious question right there. I don't need this match to go long. 10 minutes, 12 at that. Ultimately, I see Naito winning and taking the championship from Mox. Maybe even a handshake afterwards, but it will be good. Mox will probably bleed because that's what Mox does. But this is going to be a fun little match. So take Tetsuya Naito to become the new champion. Then we have a winner-take-all match as the TBS Championship and the New Japan Strong Women's Championship will be on the line as Mercedes Moné will be defending her TBS Championship against Stephanie Vaquer, who will be defending her New Japan Strong Women's Championship. And there is just a little bit of beef here, so let me break it down for you. Mercedes Moné performs for AEW, and Stephanie Vaquer performs for CMLL and New Japan and Stardom. She's great. Don't let anyone tell you that. Mercedes defeated Stephanie in the inaugural tournament, first round of the inaugural tournament, to crown that Strong Women's Champion, ultimately losing to Willow Nightingale in the finals. So Stephanie wants payback. You beat me, I gotta prove I can beat you. And Stephanie shows up, and it was announced that we get winner take off of both championships. Now you gotta remember, the Strong Women's Championship was created just for Mercedes Moné, right? And Mercedes Moné defeated the TBS Championship against Vaquera's tag team partner and Zeus's and got the W. Moné then showed up at a CMLL event over the weekend, and her and Stephanie got into it. And this was after the winner-take-all match was announced. So we've got some heat here. This also, I know people think Mercedes is going to win. I think this is a toss-up as well. I know it's maybe obvious that Mercedes is going to win, but I could see Stephanie winning and walking around with the championship, getting her W. I could also see this going to a time limit draw and both women walking away with their championships, maybe setting up a third match later down the line. But is that really feasible? Is that really, right? I'm going to go with Mercedes Moné to win this match, winning that Strong Women's Championship, but I don't think she's going to hold it long. This is going to be a fantastic match. It just is. But take Mercedes Moné to win. And in the main event, AEW World Championship on the line as Swerve Strickland, whose house will be defending against the international champion Will Ospreay. And this is tough. Here's why. Ospreay has done nothing but win since he came to AEW. He has one loss when I was in a 6-man tag match, so he has not lost any one-on-one matches. But Swerve is the champion. He kind of just got the belt after defeating Samoa Joe. So, what can you ultimately bank on? Well, the story has been Ospreay doesn't have that killer instinct anymore because he's not using the Tiger Driver. And Swerve's like, you can't be like that. You need that killer instinct, right? And after they, threw some shots at each other out of respect, Swerve made it personal and told Ospreay, yo, tell your wife and kid I said hello. Like, come on, dog. But in his heart of hearts, Swerve's the supervillain. So, at the end of that specific episode, Ospreay kind of took the world championship from Swerve. And Swerve got it back and said, listen, you lucky we friends, because if it was anyone else, I'd have put you in the dirt. And Swerve keeps telling Ospreay, you're not taking this seriously enough. You keep spreading yourself thin. On the most recent episode of Dynamite, Ospreay offered Daniel Garcia an international championship match, completely ignoring MJF, and then told MJF he'll be defending the world championship against him at All In. You're overlooking Swerve. So, and later in the main event, after Swerve and Ospreay defeated the Gates of Agony, Ospreay snatched the championship from Swerve, and that was his mistake right there. He got hit with a chop block and caught the craziest of house calls. Like, Swerve just put his whole foot in that man's face. And like Swerve has been saying, Ospreay has not been taking this seriously. Now, there's a weigh-in tonight on Collision, so I'm assuming Ospreay's going to tag Swerve back. But, like, bro, What are you doing? This is going to be a great match because I think Ospreay's incapable of having a bad match. It just doesn't happen. Swerve's winning. I know that was abrupt of me saying that, but Swerve's winning. I just can't see him losing right now. I see Swerve defending at All In against who? I don't know. Maybe it's the wild card in the Owen. Who knows? But this is going to be a really, really good match, and I'm excited for the outcome because I am fully behind Swerve. Swerve and Ospreay should be carrying the men's side of AEW along with a few others from here on out. But that's the show. One more time, let's go over the predictions one more time. I've got the Lucha Brothers and Místico winning, Kris, Statlander, and Momo Watanabe winning. I have Mariah May defeating Saraya. I have Takahashi winning the TNT Championship. I've got Joe, Hook, and Shibata defeating the Learning Tree and Jeff Cobb. MJF defeating Hachicero, the Acclaimed, and Tanahashi defeating the Elite. I have Bryan Danielson defeating Shingo Takagi to advance in the Owen. Zack Sabre Jr. to defeat Orange Cassidy. Tony Storm to defeat Mina Shirakawa, retaining the Women's World Championship. Tetsuya Naito defeating Jon Moxley to win the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Mercedes Moné to defeat Stephanie Vaquer to win the not only retain her TBS Championship, but win the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. And Swerve Strickland defeating Will Ospreay to retain the AEW World Championship. But let me know what you guys think. I'm excited. I am so excited for the show. I cannot wait for tomorrow. AEW puts on banger pay-per-views every single time. Coming up, we got going on. We got the show tonight. We've got a couple lists next week, the best matches of the year so far. We've got a Let's Talk About It new WWE tournaments. We're going to dive into that. We've got our Money in the Bank preview. I got a couple more lists, the top tag teams of factions of the year so far, and then we got the downsides of the WWE draft. But check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic Creations 52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. And as always, Anna J, Bailey, Gigi Dolan, Kris Statlander, yes, Isla Dawn, and Willow Nightingale. All right. Holla at your boy. Peace.